Welcome, everyone. Good morning, committee members. We're here today to explore the possible expansion of sleep center operations into the new satellite hospital. My team's preliminary fact-finding review has been completed. Our proposal involves restructuring of the center's governance and leadership. In addition, it includes the development of several committees to help assure engagement between leadership and the physicians involved. The attached appendix contains data from our fact-finding review and suggestions on meeting cadence and capital structuring. So let's start by looking at our method. We use an evidence-based review process, looking at governance, leadership, and the operating model. We looked at all three of these, under the scope of best practices at academic and corporate, private institutions, to look at what everyone else in the country was doing. Additionally, regarding the operating model, we wanted to look at specific areas such as study interpretation, lab cadence, and so on. We talked a little bit about that as well. So let's get to it. The current state of things. The Sleep Center leadership today is focused on daily operations with very limited strategic alignment between departments and the hospital, and poor accountability within the ranks. Collaboration between departments is limited, and it's affecting the staff. We're seeing some trickle-down effects. The facilities themselves will be updated. However, the equipment is antiquated and aging. We need to reserve capital to replace that equipment before we move into the new satellite hospital in 2020. Our recommendations are as follows, and pretty straightforward. We'd like the Sleep Center to be independent from any single department, an oversight committee to be created, and managed through a triad leadership model that includes 2 part-time medical directors, 1 lab director. They'll all work in tandem. And the idea is cross-modal department integration. Physicians, organized through multidisciplinary care models, show to enhance patient quality and reduce unnecessary care variability. A small number of high-functioning committees, again, should be established to assure active input by physicians and leadership, and capital, again, needs to be reserved for the move to the new satellite hospital in 2020 to replace the aging equipment. Some preliminary strategic options are as follows. Let's jump right in. Several things need to happen pretty quickly in order for the Sleep Center to begin its journey to the new satellite hospital. Currently, our sleep center is housed in neurology, and I would like it to be independent. Administrative leadership is mostly self-governed. They don't have any clearly defined support structure, and there seems to be a lot of part-time chiefs. I would like to create a full administrative director position to lead the center staff and operations. The multidisciplinary approach, again, this is looking at that kind of bimodal, cross-department communication, creating innovation, and moving us into better patient care overall, which would lead us to patient allocation. When I'm talking about patient allocation, the team is really saying that now, the current state, patients are just seen on a rotating basis without consideration to physician specialty. We would like to be a little more granular and divide patients based on need, specialty, expertise in this. So that jumps into the behavioral norms, which are not clearly defined, and we need to work on defining them and creating some accountability within the organization. So that all starts with the triad leadership team, the development of an operating committee, and an oversight committee. We will include the details of this in the slide deck. But pretty much, the operating committee will formulate plans and ideas, bringing them to senior leadership who will review them, and if approved, move them into the oversight committee. There will be a branch of physicians and appropriate employees to look at clinical competencies and bringing us up to date in that respect. As far as leadership, and we don't have much more time, so I'm just going to go quickly. Again, we have 2 part-time co-medical directors between pulmonology and neurology. Ideally, this is the chief of both divisions, working in tandem, indicated by this dotted line, with a program administration manager, director. We'll look at what they give us. We'll divide the current duties into silos for these medical directors. This is just a brief description. You can see it again post-discussion, reviewing the decision-making process, which is currently not in place. The timeline for implementation is very straightforward. I think we can get this guy knocked out before 2022. Budgeting makes a lot of sense. Please take a look. We can go from around an $8 million net to $13, $14 million in this expansion. Thank you all very much for your time. Bye-bye.